Hey, what's up everybody? BDF 44 coming at you with another video. Alright, so I decided to come down to where I used to live over on Dunsmuir. Dunsmuir, that is exactly where you are, Wilshire and Dunsmuir. And I figured I'd come around here and just visit the old neighborhood, see if anything is different around here, see if anything is the same, you know? How you doing, man? Everything's good, man. How are you? Yeah, Happy New Year, bro. That's one of the guys I used to hang out at his house. He probably still lives over there, my boy Cook. That was one of his buddies, man. We used to drink over there, have fun, smoke some weed with him sometimes. Always nice guy, man. I don't know if you recognize me or not, but I certainly recognize him right away. But yeah, man, this is my old building. And this is it. This is... My mom would park in here, go to this Walgreens all the time. I mean, it was so easy to get groceries over here because the Walgreens, of course, is right behind me, and there's a Ralph's like 3 blocks down. And I would have a great time living over here, to be honest with you. Got to a point where my anxiety got the worst of me, but this is where I was up there. This was see, they do it a much better job of taking care of that area, but I left it abandoned. I would stand outside of this balcony here once every 3 months. I would come out there and smoke and drink and just deal with myself. This was where my boy Cook's house was, downstairs. He long since moved from over here, but when I first got here, my responsibility was to take my mom and I, we had she was a manager here, so she would take the trash cans from the back and drag them to the front. So one of the first things I had to do when I got here was be responsible for that, I believe every Tuesday. That didn't last for too long, but it was a young kid like me who was coming over here as a teenager. But those were my bedroom windows right there. The long two right here. And my room was right there, and that was the living room. And that was where the kitchen is, man. And I tell you, I spent so much time here. It was unbelievable how much time I spent on the roof too. Rooftop area is where one of my favorite places to kind of sit up there and, of course, drink and all that other crap I used to do when I was younger, man. Stuff that I wouldn't do today, but stuff that I really, really enjoyed when here in my 20s and early 30s. More so 20s. I think I was out of here by 30, to be honest with you. But I got here like 16, something like that, 17. So yeah, this was the infamous Dunsmuir. And I ended up doing some art that looks like the border of this door. A piece that looks similar to that. It wasn't quite as detailed, but when I look back on it, I'm like, so that's where I got that idea from. So yeah, man, this is my old neighborhood, and I feel like walking the area where I used to jog, because I had a nice little path where I would jog about 3 blocks down past the Ralph's and turn back around and come up this way, and try to jog that about 3 or 4 times. Take about 45 minutes, but when I was in my jogging vibes, that was what I did. That was exactly how the path went. So yeah, man, Dunsmuir still looks the same, man. Nothing changed. These buildings have been here for a million years, so ain't nothing really changed, to be honest with you. It's just the same exact look. Wilshire's changed a little bit. It's funny because that train station over there on La Brea and Western hasn't changed. They ain't put that thing together. It's been 10 years they've been working on that. Almost more, to be honest with you. It's just crazy how certain things are construction sites for like 2 years, 1 year, and then other things you see are construction sites for like 10 and 12 years. That train station that they're working on in Wilshire and La Brea has been a construction site for literally 10 years. No exaggeration. They were already breaking ground on it when I left here, and then I come back here 10 years later, they still haven't fixed it. Probably about 2 years away from being fixed right now. So it's just how it goes, man. But you know, this is an area where I really was comfortable. I mean, not really driving. I learned how to drive on this side of town, but I didn't really have control of the car until after I left here. But you know, walking around, we go to the basketball courts not too far from here, play ball. This was just a really, really nice time, nice neighborhood. So you're very comfortable running around. This is the place I told y'all I jogged at like 2 in the morning. Because look at the neighborhood. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's not exactly hood around here, man. And so when I left here and went to Inglewood and Lenox, it was like not necessarily a culture shock per se, but I was not used to being around what I ended up getting used to. You know what I mean? That's what it really came down to. Here just gave me a nice little soft life type of area. The weather was always nice. You know, that kind of thing. It's just easy living. The hardest thing we had to deal with over here was the parking. Parking was not easy to find sometimes, but because they didn't let us park in that parking structure next door. But I would come over here and jog. This is my jog path right here. Walking down, all the way down about 3 blocks. And I had gotten pretty good too when I was like 21, 22 years old. I was into that every day. And isolation period really began when my mom first got diagnosed with cancer. It was like, all right, I don't really feel like leaving the house. All I really want to do is eat the same thing in the morning, stretch, jog, play video games, sleep in the daytime. I had a routine that didn't really serve itself, and I didn't understand mental health, so I wasn't getting no help then. It was just me dealing with myself. I knew I was struggling with my mental health. I can't tell you that I didn't know that, but as far as how to get help and all of that, I just wasn't very proactive at all. And so that's how it was over here in this side of town. I just would do this, run this path, and got in pretty good shape, even though I'm not gonna lie to you, I prefer to be a bit more so muscle oriented, and lifting and squatting is probably what it is for me now. I would prefer it, but a good mix of both would probably be what's best. And if I lived over here again, I'd get right back to that jogging path. I'd do it every day. I'd still do this. You know, when I didn't feel as good, I might turn the corner here. When I first got started, I'd turn it and just do 1 block. But as I start to build my resistance up, I would run further and further and further. And it got to a point where I could jog a lot over here. But I was never eating right, you know what I mean? That was always the thing with me. I'm eating all kinds of sugar, foods, and, you know, there was no discipline on the diet, so I wasn't actually getting in the type of shape I wanted to get into. You know, that was the building where I did all of my insanity workouts, stuff, home workouts. So, you know, it was just like, I was very fitness conscious, but not diet conscious at all. And so I found myself in a space where I just never was quite satisfied, never. You know, but this place looks the same, man. It hasn't changed in 10 years at all. Hollywood's changed more than this place has. Wilshire has a little bit of changes, but like I said, that construction site, it's absolutely insane in how they're not done with that train station. It's insane. Like, you would think I had only been gone for like 2 years if you looked at that train site and see how far along they actually are at this point. You'd think I was only gone for 2 years. But I've actually been out of this area for a very long time, man. Very long time. And so that's really what it is. I just wanted to come down here and walk the path that I used to jog, kind of look and see how the area is. Hopefully it'll be warmer on this side of town, which it is. So Lord knows North Hollywood is cold right now. But it's nice, man. It's nice to be back on this side of town. I'm not going to say it's home, but from it for the most part. Got over here at 16, left when I was 30. So yeah, man, it's been a lot of very key times over here with friends, having parties over here. You know, I wasn't as isolated as I became in Lenox because I was more comfortable having people come over here. Have little drinking parties with my buddies, have smoking parties, have girls over and stuff like that. That was a bit more normalcy for me here on this side of town rather than what it became over there in Lenox after my mother had passed away and all of that stuff. So it was like, all right. And I spent the majority of my time enjoying my 20s, going to clubs with my boy T, come pick me up over here, and go to like a Jamaican Gold, what's the name of the club? I don't know if they still do that, but like that was that era. And, you know, go to this IHOP. I don't know if you can see that, but I've got plenty of looks out of me. I get a lot of take-home stuff. When I worked over at Park Place, which is in Century City, a lot of the time it was a lot of very poignant memories down there, because what I would end up doing was walking 5 and 6 blocks down this way all the way down to Beverly. I think it was Beverly. I don't know if it was Beverly or not. Olympic, I think it was. Yeah, it was Olympic, and then take the Olympic bus up to Century City at like 11 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night. I think I had to be at work at like 11. I'd have to get at work and be there by 11. So what I would end up doing is sleeping during the daytime, do my little jog routine, eat my meals and stuff like that. And then around 8 o'clock, depending on if the Lakers played or not, which a lot of time they did, I had to try to manage leaving the house and being fresh by 11 o'clock at night. And it's funny because when you get used to a schedule like that, it's so abnormal to get started with a schedule like that, and you really go through the rigmarole of trying to get your body used to it. But once you do, just like anything else, you almost don't want to change it when it's time to change it. Once they moved me to the mornings, I was miserable. And I can't even imagine how that it is right now. But I had gotten so worked into the routine of working graveyard for like 2 long years straight, no vacation. It was just kind of weird for me to try to sleep during regular hours again. And, I preferred, by the time it was over, I was really, really angry at them for changing my routine. So it's one of those situations where you're like, you know what? You know your body can get used to anything. And you go through that. All that walking I was doing, all that cold weather I was dealing with in Century City. So you just get to a point where it's like, man, I know I can adapt to anything now. It's like, all right, now I know. You know what I mean? But this was my jog routine. Every bit of this walk I've given y'all is pretty much where I used to jog all the time. About 3 rotations of it. I would try to make sure I get that done every day. Every day. I don't remember if taking days off was ever something I really wanted to do, especially when I got used to it after several months of doing it. And I did that for like 1.5 years, 2 years. I was just jogging. That was my big thing. And it switched up when I had to leave this area. Once I got to Lenox, and there was no more jogging. But yeah, man. I had my little weed shop down the way, down Wilshire further down. A 99-cent store I used to frequent. I used to work in one of these buildings near the end of her working experience. I think it was that one right there, not this one here, but the one next to it. I believe that's where they had her, where they had moved her radio station. And then of course my neighborhood Ralph's right here. I used to frequent all the time with Mom, park down there in the parking structure, take the elevator up, all that stuff, man. Buy everything that needed to be bought. That was the chase. I get paid, I deposit my check over there before we got into to online banking and stuff like that. That was where I did most of my banking. And they've changed the stores over here. Imagine some of the stores across the street are not the same, but there's a Five Guys over there. There's a Hawaiian barbecue spot that I'd go to, Chipotle, the infamous Chipotle. I used to always buy food from and then end up regretting it with the stomach. That was that, Chipotle. I don't remember if FedEx office was there. I don't remember. Maybe it was. I honestly don't remember. But my infamous 20, bus. I'd catch that. That's the Wilshire bus. And catch it everywhere. It goes all the way down to Santa Monica. Goes all the way down to downtown the other way. So, yeah, man. Lots of memories over here. Obviously, lots of memories. Neighborhood Rite Aid, which is, once again, like I told y'all, Rite Aid, I think, may have went out of business or something. Or they shut down like 80% of their stores. Because every Rite Aid I used to go to is done with. And this one is no exception. That Rite Aid is a wrap. I'm kind of surprised to see the Staples gone too. There was a Staples down there that was infamous. Used to go to all the time. That thing is done as well. So yeah, man, this is the neighborhood, and this is the jogging path. And I'd stop here at these lights and keep running in place. I would never want to stop. Not even when I get to the light, I'm still jogging. Definitely missed that era of my life, man. Even though by the time I had gotten through with it, I was tired of it, to be honest with you. But like, when I look back on it, those were some good times. Oh yeah, man, it's one of those situations where it's good to be back on this side of town. Einstein Bagels is still there. I'm actually survived. I remember when they opened it. Can't see it right now, but yeah, opened that back when I was working at Park Place. That used to be a across the street, that used to be Hollywood Video. They shut that thing down before I left. But I used to go there quite a bit to buy things that I needed, video games and movies. I didn't really rent movies, but DVDs early on when I first got over here. And so, yeah, man. The UPS store across the street, the El Rey right here, it's the infamous El Rey. You know, I've been there a million times. Actually, I don't think I actually went into the El Rey very much. Maybe once. But what it is, man, this is where it was. Happy to be moved on from this. And happy to have had so many experiences on this side of town to where I don't even need to be here no more. This place is still the same. His and her hair, that never changed. It's always a bunch of pretty women that work there 100% of the time. And I've seen this place change a million times as well. That right there. I remember that for a couple seconds. That used to be a combination. I think actually still maybe Mexican food and Indian food, I think is what they had there, or something like that. I know there was an Indian food place across the street still there, 10 door. That's there, and neighborhood UPS store. A lot of times when I had to drop off equipment, particularly cable equipment, it was always convenient because I could just walk right down there and turn it in. So, yeah, man, back on Dunsmuir, this was my jogging path. This is exactly how I went, that whole circumference that we just saw. I would do this like maybe 3 or 4 times when I finally worked up the highest level of my conditioning. It was like four tries of this. And then eventually, I do remember now, I would jog all the way to, you know, when I got tired of doing that, and when it got to a point where it's too easy, I expanded it. And I would jog all the way down to La Brea. That's where I ended. When I moved from over here, I had worked up such a good jogging routine to where I could jog all the way back further than where we went, and then jog all the way down to La Brea, and then jog all the way around. I'd forgotten about that until now, but yeah, man, I was expanding my jogging circumference. I was really expanding that. When I finally left here, I definitely had that on deck. I was jogging about 45 minutes to an hour a day at a pretty good speed too. So yeah, I kind of missed that, man. I was in good shape. Not a whole lot of muscle, but a lot of endurance, good breathing, all of that, man. I miss those days. And this place is still the same. You know, that Bank of America is still there. I never banked with Bank of America. There it stands. It's always been that. Actually, you know, did they close it? I don't know if they actually closed it or not. This was the neighborhood Staples that I was talking about that I'm actually surprised closed. That thing had been open well before I got here. I remember doing a doodah parade, which was something that we did for Samba back when I was a elementary school student in that Samba band I was telling y'all about at Chermoya. We came all the way over here years and years and years before I moved over here. And they shut this entire area down, a couple blocks down this way, a couple blocks down that way, and we did the doodah parade. I don't know if they still do the doodah parade. I doubt they do, but that was something that used to be on, they put it on Channel 5, that kind of thing, you know, it was like a big deal. Back in the 90s, a doodah parade. I don't know if anybody remembers that, but yeah, I actually performed in that one year as a part of my Samba band. Banging drums and stuff, we were good too. I know I always brag about how good those kids were, all of us. We practiced so damn much. So when it was time to perform or something like that, we could perform for an hour straight without stopping. Doo-doom, doo-doom. Drum patterns, drums, snares and stuff. Stuff that would wear you out after doing it for 5 minutes, we do for an hour. Kid you not. But you know, that's just what it was, man. Here goes the cleaner. When I stopped living over here, I was going there a lot. Drop off various different clothes that I had to use to go to certain jobs that I would go to. So that was one of the last places I remember going to when I moved from over here. So that Cleaners. In fact, the night before I moved, I had to go to that Cleaners and pick something up. Yeah, man. So this is what it is, and now you get to see what I was talking about when I say that this area is still a construction site. It was a construction site 10 years ago. They still ain't built this thing, man. It's crazy. Still ain't built this. That used to be where that RW Salon used to be. That used to be a barber shop that I went to a couple times when I first got over here. Barber's very, very talented, man. Real good artist over there. And this used to be what? Subway? Yeah, this was a Subway. I ain't halfway remember that it was here. Starbucks, of course, survived, but the Subway apparently did not. Wilshire LeBrand, they had just built that when I left here. That big complex there, that was just getting started. But yeah, man, this is what I'm talking about. This construction site. This right here. This used to be right across the street right here. Used to be a newsstand. I often went to a lot when I first moved over here. And that newsstand is, of course, long gone now. But, and that post office, my neighborhood post office, and this used to be another Bank of America right here. It's funny how they had two Bank of Americas right next to each other, but that is how it went. And they tore that thing down and are still trying to put the train station here 10 long years later. Ain't fixed this thing yet. It's kind of ridiculous, really. And given the fact that I wasn't frequenting over here, I have no idea what it was that slowed that process down. But they were talking about this thing is going to be open in 09, summer 09. It is 2024. Like, they still ain't fixed this thing yet. It's absolutely insane. Yeah, I was looking over there. They had already broken ground on this when I left, man. In fact, it had broken ground a year before I left. Kid you not. A year before I left, this had already broken ground. Just absolutely insane, man. So yeah, that is the truth. I got my neighborhood Jack in the Box up ahead that I used to go to get my Jack breakfast and stuff like that. Really loved that. I really enjoyed their breakfast there. Wouldn't buy it today, but I love it. See what I'm saying? They broke ground on this over 10 years ago, man. Over 10 long damn years ago. And still ain't fixed that thing. Nowhere near fixing it, as you can clearly see. Just absurd. I remember standing at this bus stop there a couple times, going down La Brea, possibly headed down to like a Best Buy or something like that. So many memories and stuff of that nature. Heading down this way, used to be a big dog. You can't see it down this way, but it used to be a bar on the side there about a half a block down this way. And there used to be a Doberman. They used to sit outside out front. Sweet dog, but massive, man. And this would sometimes be the path I'd go. Headed that away. Olympic to go to the job that I was just telling you guys about. And often I would stand there and wait for the train right across from where but I don't know where they moved that bus stop, rather not the train, but the bus stop. That's across the street. It's supposed to be giving us the 720. I don't know where they moved that thing to. Yeah, man, this is a blast from the past, man. A definite blast from the live long past. Head down that way, go to Inglewood, catch that, what's that? I don't know what bus number it is, 212 or something like that. Head to Inglewood. Headed that way, you can get to Hollywood. You know? That's how it was, man. And I spent so much time over here to where it's kind of weird to be on this side of town now, seeing how it's changed. Is that light never gonna change? Guess it ain't gonna change. I'm gonna follow the guy, man. Because it looked like if I stand here for much longer, I ain't never gonna move. So I'm taking his cue. He works. And he's crossing with his red. I'm gonna cross when it's red too. So yeah, man, that is what's going on. I don't know how far I gotta walk down to catch the bus. That's the question. Stop that I'm trying to take gets me back to the train station. When I lived over here, it was where BevMo is. Right now, I don't know how far down you gotta walk, but I can catch the 20 anywhere. It's just the 720 that gets you there quicker. But yeah, man, this is a blast from the past. I definitely don't hate being over here today. I'm glad the Lord guided me to Wilshire so I can show you guys Dunsmuir, the building, and the path that I used to jog. Even my neighborhood go to quite a bit. And I did go here a lot because I love that breakfast bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit meal type of thing. I would usually get one because one would be enough here. At McDonald's, I had to get two. That was back when my stomach was entirely different, man. Now that, yeah, delivery with Postmates, that makes sense. So yeah, man, this BMW still been the whole time. Nothing's changed with that. You know, still kind of looks the same in certain areas. There's a Starbucks my homegirl Gina and I used to go to sometimes. Further down the direction I'm going. I don't remember exactly how far it was. I thought it was over here across the street, but nah, I don't think so. It was a little further down. If we didn't want to go to the Starbucks next to the house, we would go to one down here for whatever reason. I don't remember why we would drive past that one. But shout out to Gina. That's my homegirl who actually, I had some good times hanging out with Gina because she would get stuff from her job. Like one time she got Prince tickets. She took me to go see Prince right before he passed away, man. His last huge performance tour in LA where he was doing the Great Western Forum. And it's funny because he would come out and do, after the show would pretty much be over, he would have you wait for like 10 minutes and then would come out and perform again. People think he's done, he'd come out and perform again. We watched him do like 4 encores and then finally left when we thought he was really done. Turned out he did like 4 more encores after that. That man performed for another 2 hours. Like, seriously. It was just unbelievable. I was so upset that we left, but it was already like midnight when we left. The man kept that going till like 2 in the morning or something. He encored until everybody thought he was gone, basically. But that was Prince, man, one of the greatest musicians to ever walk the earth by very certain standards. And then I also went to a Clipper game with her, and by then I hated the Clippers. So I was going to a Clipper game because of her job and how it was going. She had booth tickets, like we were in the suite, so I was able to watch the infamous game where Kevin Love with the Timberwolves shot down the Clippers at the buzzer with the arms wide spread. And I don't know if anybody remembers that game, but it was one of the biggest moments of Kevin Love's career. And I was in the house for that one with my homegirl Gina. So we had some good times hanging out with her. Very good times, man. And this is the Starbucks we used to go to sometimes. There it is. For the life of me, I don't know why we would drive past the other Starbucks. Maybe it's because of parking. Much easier to park over here, I don't know. But down to this one. So yeah, shout out to Gina. Gina was cool people. Still is, obviously. But yeah, man, just these are memories that I have. Yeah, working over here and living over here and all the different experiences I had over here, man. This Fat Burger up here, there's a Subway that used to be here. I don't know if it still is. El Pollo Loco. Frequented all these places. When I used to work at the call center where I met my ex, that was like maybe 5 blocks down. I don't even remember what that call center was named. I honestly don't remember, but I spent like 3 years there between like 22 and 25, I think, or something like that. But yeah, catch this bus every night, come home, catch the bus up, go straight there, and got my GED. So what I did was, when I first got hired there, I decided I wanted to get my GED at the same time. So I went to LA High, which is like 6 blocks down that way, maybe not even that many. And then I had it set up just right to where my schools would end like 25 minutes before my shift would start. So I would have just enough time to walk down here to go to work. And so that was a really good time for me. Just in terms of like overcoming something in my own head that I really didn't want to do. And when I first got that job, I was like, I don't ever want to go back to school, but I kind of want my GED. So I just went through with the process. And as I told you guys many times, I actually earned it, but never actually picked up the diploma. Ever did. I never did actually get them to print that out for me. So yeah, man, I came here a lot of times. There was also a GNC, I think, still here. No, it's not anymore. But this used to be a Radio Shack. And that Subway a lot. Went to that El Pollo a lot. Definitely love that Fat Burger right there. You know, they go to Starbucks I was telling y'all about. Yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. I didn't hear nothing she said. Maybe y'all picked it up. I didn't hear. But she didn't want to say it twice, so I don't care to ask again. She got her 211 in her hand, so I'm not about to be arguing with her about what she said. If she want to roll her eyes at me, and those are the eyes that will roll past me, because I'm going to keep on rolling. At any rate, well, yeah, man, this is the path. This is definitely one of the paths I used to take. A lot of times I'd have like job interviews over here. I went to this H&R Block once or twice. This is a path that takes you down Highland to get to Hollywood. If you catch that bus, it'll just go straight down there, and then you'll look up and you'll be in Hollywood in no time flat. So this is a lot of parts of this area that I remember so well, that I enjoyed really very much. And you know, got enough of too, just the same. Got enough of it. When I lived over here, I was very much tired of this place. I ain't gonna even lie to you guys. I was tired of living over here when I moved. Okay, I think I see where I can catch the bus down there. I think the closest place is probably Crenshaw. Catch that bus. That don't matter, I'm just walking. But yeah, doing the Wilshire thing. I hadn't come over here since I've been home in North Hollywood. Been to Hollywood a million times. Been to all the schools that I went to, but never quite made my way over here because it's so far out of the way of a train station, because they ain't built the damn train station right there. It would like make life so much easier if they would have at some point in time in the last 11 years fix that damn train station. But no, that's too much like right. Still probably 11 years away by the pace they going. But yeah, man, that's pretty much does it for my Wilshire conversation. I think I could walk down a couple more blocks and show you where I used to work, but it's just a waste of time, really, as far as it pertains to this phone battery. So, you know, I don't think I ever really walked this area too much because it really didn't make much sense to do so, to be completely honest with you. But I think I'm so much more equipped to walk these days than I ever was when I lived over here. Even though I jogged a lot, all this walking, pavement walking, nah, I would never do that. I would catch the bus every single time. And a lot of times I would take the bus the opposite way too. Taking the bus all the way down, get you all the way to Santa Monica. It goes through Beverly Hills. So a lot of times I'd stop in Beverly Hills area. When my ex used to work over there, I'd stop over there and meet up with her after work. Maybe meet up with her for a lunch or something. I used to do that a whole lot during the relationship years, and you know, it's a lot of memories, man. A lot of memories. Sometimes I get in trouble. Sometimes I would be responsible. But those were the years where, you know, a combination of both was very prevalent for me. It was infamous for me to get in trouble. Come back home drunk, throwing up all over myself, and that kind of thing. Come in high. That kind of thing. My mom put up with a lot from me during those years. And I wish she could see me now, you know, because it's been, 9 years since she passed. So I think I've gotten significantly more responsible, especially over the last 6 months with what it is I just went through. But it's good to be back over here. And what I'm most appreciative of is that I feel as good as I do. You know, at 39 years of age, I still feel like I'm 25. I don't feel much different physically. In fact, I'm in much better shape now than I was back then. So it doesn't really feel like it's been that long a time, you know, even though it has. And so that's what I can say for this, man. I'm fortunate. Maybe if the Lord will allow, I'll be in even better shape years from now when I come back over here. But that's pretty much it, man. That's pretty much the thought. Just wanted to show y'all my Wilshire experience, man. BDF 44, I thank y'all for watching. I'm out.